That is when this unique story began. When a British merchant ship was passing in the middle of the desolate Atlantic Ocean, its captain turned his attention to a ship far away, which was not moving forward either, and neither was responding to their signals. On getting closer, it was found that this ship was standing alone in the desolate sea with only the support of the waves. The surprising thing was this, that the crew's equipment, food and drink and all the cargo were in perfect condition inside the ship, but if it wasn't, the grave didn't exist. Who had disappeared from here without any trace? This is the story of Mary Slashard that has puzzled historians for the last 1.5 years. The secret that no one but the sea knows. The ship was built in Canada in 1861 and once again welcomes viewers to unscripted lens TV videos, and at that time it was named Amazon. In its initial voyages it suffered from minor accidents. That is why this ship was quite famous for accidents. But it has not yet suffered any major accidents. What was when it changed its ownership capped? She was named Mary Slash when she came to Benjamin Burke's. It was a pleasant day in New York on November 7th, 1872. The ship Mary Celeste was lying on the beach and cargo was being loaded on it. 1,700 barrels of ethanol were looted in Mary Celeste, which is not drinking but industrial use alcohol. He had to take all these barrels from New York to Genoa, Italy on the Atlantic Ocean. A total of 10 people were on board in this ship, including 7 crew members, including the captain of the ship, Benjamin Spooner Braggs, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter were also present. There was no problem in the ship before starting the journey, and she set off on the journey easily without any hitch. This journey was about 7,500 kilometers long, and normally in that era, such a big journey would take weeks, not days. Remember that there was no GPS or advanced communication devices then, which can be contacted with the captain. It had been 3 weeks since Mary Celeste left New York, and as usual, after several weeks, he was now waiting for his arrival at the port of Genoa. But even after all this time, there was no trace of my Slash. Even after the Mary Slashette, other ships from New York now began to reach Genoa. Now the trouble was increasing. Why did my Slashette not reach the destination even after so many weeks? 10 days after Mary Slash's departure, another British ship was to leave New York and follow the same route to Gibraltar. It was a British merchant ship called Gracia. After several weeks, on 4th December 1872, it reached the Azores Islands. This is that part of the ocean where nothing is visible except the blue sky and sea. There, the captain of the ship saw a ship standing far away in the sea. The captain noticed that the ship was not moving forward on the water, but only standing in one place. Seeing such a scene in this part of the sea, the captain was suspicious, and they sent him many signals from a distance, but when there was no reply from ahead, the captain decided to approach it. On getting closer, he found out that it was none other than the captain's friend's ship called Mary Celeste. It had been a month since he left New York. Mary Celeste was found standing alone in the Atlantic Ocean, 1,800 km from Gibraltar. There was no movement whatsoever. The captain of the Gracia sent his crew members to Marisal's, where they were all surprised to find that no one was on the ship. A month ago, she left New York with 10 people. Where did all those people disappear in the middle of the sea? The same question was now being asked by the captain of the Gracia. At first they thought that there might have been an accident on the ship. But when they reviewed my list, so the whole ship was perfectly safe. All the belongings of the captain and his family and even the clothes of the curry members were completely untouched. They were also perfectly safe. Even the stock of food for the curry on the ship was still there. After a little more checking, a log book was found in the captain's room. Previously, the ship captains kept with them, in which the maintenance and issues of the ship were written. In this log book, the captain of the ship made the last entry on November 25th at 8 o'clock in the morning. That is, the day the ship was found in this state. 10 days before that meant that the ship had been standing in the desolate Atlantic Ocean for about 10 days. The captain of the Gracia was watching the whole incident, but they did not understand anything. Meanwhile, his eyes fell on the lifeboat section, so they did not see the lifeboat there. It could only mean one thing, that something must have happened on the ship. And all the people saved their lives and ran somewhere in the lifeboat. The navigation instruments in the captain's cabin were also missing, and a sword was found locked in its scabbard under his bed, which is a sign that there was no attack on the ship. Otherwise, the sword would have been out of his waist, or else it would not have been there. Except for the people's book, all other documents were also there. Another thing noticed was that the ship's cabin was wet everywhere, and in many places 2.5 feet of water was also standing. But that wasn't it. That can damage a ship of this size. Let us tell you here that according to the international salvage law, if anyone rescues a ship, so he will be rewarded according to the value of the ship. Taking advantage of the same log, the captain of the Degradia took the Mary Slashette to Gibraltar, where the authorities kept the ship until the court hearings were completed. The court conducted investigations on its own, but even after several hearings, no clue could be found. Even court hearings could not solve the problem. So people started making all kinds of stories. Some said that the heavenly beings took away my slash, and others said that some sea creature must have attacked them. Among all these fabrications, there was one thing that was true, that since my slashette was made, it has been having accidents ever since. Once it collided with another ship, but despite a slight collision, that ship sank. Then my slashette was brought to port for repairs. So the port auto-ignited before the repair, and once before the departure of the journey, its captain's health suddenly deteriorated and he passed away. It is because of all these things that it is believed now that maybe this lace of mine is ruled by jinns and utamas, due to which this latest accident has happened. And since then, the title of midship was also given to Mary Slashette. But what actually happened that day? There are some theories about this. Let's look at them one by one. The first theory is about betrayal. Many people believe that the captain of the degrees has orchestrated this whole drama to get a reward by killing all the guru members of my group. But here's the thing to think about, that if it had, there would have been signs of blood loss somewhere on the ship. Now here the degrees did not leave any trace behind, and all the traces were erased, or else this theory is wrong. The second theory is very interesting. This theory states that there were 1,700 barrels of alcohol on the ship, but when the ship was brought to the authorities, 9 of these barrels were empty. Some barrels of alcohol may have had a blast, due to which the crew members got into the lifeboat and ran away from here, but where the barrels were, there was no sign of blast or fire. In the third theory, it was revealed that it can happen, that the ship was caught in a storm, and it started filling with water. Seeing this, the captain decided to evacuate the ship, and then all those small lifeboats have run away. Such a small lifeboat could not withstand the sea waves. And you have taken everyone's life. This theory seemed to be quite correct. But this is just a theory. There are many theories, but none of the theories could be proved with evidence. Despite the passage of more than 1,500 years, this mystery could not be solved till now. What happened to my slashette? Under what circumstances did the captain leave the ship, and where did they all go? This mystery probably went with Captain Benjamin Burks. It is hoped that you will like and share this video of Unscripted Lens TV. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments. In the next wonderful video,